G'day folks, this is Sim. Welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft. I'm going to be doing a lot of running today. I want to cover as much terrain as I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the camera running. Should make for a pretty large file on my hard drive by the time we get to the end. But I'm just going to keep moving and I will cut in and out if anything interesting happens along the way. But there's only so much that I can talk about, and I'm not a master when it comes to telling stories. So, yeah, I'm going to rock and roll along, just keep heading in hopefully the right direction. And when we find somewhere that looks promising, we will continue on from there. So I'll see you about. Well, it's been 4 Minecraft days for me. Nothing much has happened other than a lot of running. I'm now at, well, about -8,000. The average temperature is 15 degrees. That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit, by the way. So that's hopefully not going to be too bad. We'll have to see what happens when we actually get to winter. At the moment, it's now, let's have a quick look, still summer, so I may still be too far away, but there's just so much travelling involved. I'm not sure whether I want to go any further at this stage of the game. I have found somewhere though that really fits well with what I was looking for. We've got mountains over there, we've got some hills over there with looks like plenty of trees. We've got a lovely green biome right here, and there's quite a bit of food around as well, so we should be able to get that established fairly quickly. There are horses there, and there was a few more back that way. Oh look, we've got donkeys too. I didn't see them before, so that's going to work out really well. There's some cows. Hopefully there'll be a male and a female. We'll have to have a look. I think I saw a pig before. There's some deer, so there's a reasonable amount of wildlife floating around here. And there's obviously some ores. I don't have any space to actually experiment and see what we've got yet, but that doesn't matter. What I'm going to do, even more crops, which is great, and there's the river over there. There's an ocean just over that way. I'm not sure how far it is from here because I've moved around a little bit. What biome is this, by the way? Let's have a quick look. It's rolling hills. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of time off camera, and I'm going to level out the top of this hill so that we've got somewhere to build. It seems like a decent amount of space up here. I'm going to have to get some water though, because I'm not in a good way. But yes, I'm going to level out the top of the hill, and then we'll see about setting up our first base of operations. So fingers crossed everything goes smoothly, and I will see you again very shortly in your time, and in a little bit longer in mine, and we will go from there. So I'll see you soon. And we're back, and it's actually been quite a long time for me, because while I was clearing the terrain, I left it just a little bit too late to run for cover, and I got ambushed by a spider. That meant that I had a very, very, very long trek to get back here. I did, and I have completed what I set out to do. So the terrain over here has been cleared and leveled. I've also made myself a rough shelter here, somewhere to get out of the rain and away from the spiders using the straw. And I've got a few basics started so that we've got some materials. But before we do anything else, we need to deal with the problem with spawn. Now, at the moment, I can't make a proper bed because beds require wool, and I don't have the materials that are needed to get the wool. I don't have planks either. But what we can do is we can lay down a couple of these thatch blocks, and then we can grab this hide that we got off that pig before, and we can place it on there. And that makes, well, it's a sleeping pallet, I suppose, or a straw bed. Now the thing about the straw bed is that you can't actually sleep on it to sleep through the night, but you can, once it gets to night time, you can use it to set your spawn, which is what we will do as soon as it gets dark. Now, you may also notice I've thrown a few of the berry bushes that we gathered along the way down, by the way. You may notice over here that there's a campfire. and there are some torches lying around. And the reason for that is I did want to light the place up. Now, torches are also quite different. To make torches, you need to make a campfire. Now, to make a campfire, let's just break that up. It's pretty straightforward. It's the same process that we use to make the pit kiln without the pit. So you need to throw 3 sticks on the ground. Do it far enough away that they don't pop back into your inventory. Oh, that'll do. Oh, okay, maybe that won't do. Alright, one more time. Not that. Derp. Let's get away and let's just right click with the fire starter. Come on, you can do it. There you go. And that's how you make your campfire. Now, campfires require fuel. So if we open up the campfire, you'll see that there's actually a little UI. We drop some logs in here, and that will keep the campfire burning for a period of time. And to make torches, you pop sticks in here, and you'll see that they light up, and for each stick you get 2 torches. Now, the other thing that you can do with the campfire is you can cook meat. You'll see I've got some horse meat over here, which I would much prefer I wasn't eating. However, I don't really have much of a choice. I didn't want it to go to waste. I'll show you what happened there as well. We'll leave this here for now. So, if we have a look over here, you'll see there's that white horse. There was 3 of them, and they were sitting away on the plains down there happily, and I went to get some water, and as I was, we don't want to go that way or that way. Let's go down here. And as I was coming back, I noticed a massive stuff all over the ground and a bear. It appears that bears attack horses, and the bear had actually murdered 2 of the horses. So I've dragged the other fellow over there. I killed the bear in a fit of rage and almost died myself in the process. But now we've only got the 1 white horse. We've still got the donkeys. They seem to be fine. So our priority now, after we set spawn, is to actually be able to do some serious crafting and building. And to do that, we need planks, and for planks we need a saw. You used to be able to make planks with an axe when I first played, but that's changed now. You don't have any option other than a saw. So that's what we need to do. Now, a saw is a higher tier tool. You can't make a saw out of stone, which I suppose kind of makes sense. So what we're going to need to do, and this is where it's going to get a little bit worrisome. Do I have an extra vessel in there? I do. Let's just pop that out. Oh, log piles. Logs can be made into log piles. If you shift click a log on the ground, it'll make a log pile, and then you can fill that up with logs like that. Okay, so what we need is we need to make some clay molds and some clay vessels. Now I should have an empty vessel here, which I have, so I'll pop that off there to one side. We should have probably had a drink while we were down there, but we'll have a drink now. And we'll also have something to eat. We're really low on dairy, but we don't have really much choice there. What have we got in small quantities? We'll just eat the berries. That should be enough. Okay, so until we can get proper smelting going, we can actually work some ores using the clay vessels in the pit kiln. But the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to need some molds. Now my clay I think is over here. Let's find out. Oops. Yes. So what we need to do then is grab some of this clay, and we need to make some clay molds. Now, yes, we're actually making a mold this time. We're not actually napping it out, so we actually have to work from the inside. So we're going to make the shape that we want to end up with, which should be like that. And that gives us a clay saw mold. The other thing that I would want to consider at the moment is a metal hoe, but I don't have a lot of materials. We've only got a small amount of metals that we've actually picked up. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go on a bit of a scavenge and see how we actually go for gathering. Now what I will do though is I'll make up a couple of other molds because we can cook them 4 at a time. So let's see if I can get this right. I need an ingot mold, which should hopefully be something like this. Nope, that was a fail. How do I make an ingot mold? I don't know. So close. I'm wasting clay now. Fortunately, we've got a bit lying around. That's an ingot mold, so that makes up 2 of those. And we will make up the scythe mold at the same time, I think, because that'll give us our 4. Scythes are really useful for gathering leaves, and that's something we want to be able to do. So if we just go across here and down like this, and that gives us a scythe mold. And what we might do is, if I've got what I need before it gets nasty, let's just throw these in here so that we can fire them up. And one of those, and that one. Grab some logs, and I need about 8, and some straw. Oops, too much. Doesn't matter, it'll do. Oi! So let's fill that up. Throw the logs in. Don't do that, it's rude. And let's light it up. Sticks first. Here we go. And the other thing we need to do now that it's dark is hopefully set our spawn. So if we do die, we end up back here. So, but it's too comfortable to fall asleep. But that doesn't matter, because that means that our spawn should now be set. And that should hopefully make a big difference, because believe me, the trek back wasn't particularly exciting. It was just a trudge. It was not a lot of fun. There's a lot of distance involved there. And there's certainly a lot to be said about building a base where you spawn, but I didn't really like the fact that I'd spawned so far down to the south. I'm an Aussie. I like the warmer weather, what can I say? Now, there's not going to be a great deal that we can do for now. I'm still very, very soft and squishy, and if anything spawns and decides to come up here, at the moment it looks pretty quiet. There's a zombie over there, another one up on the hill over there. There's not really a lot of stuff spawning at all. But I know what'll happen. As soon as I decide to run around at night and do stuff with no armor and no good quality weapons, they will come from everywhere, and spiders and javelin skeletons are just deadly. So I'm going to wait out the night, and I'll be back in the morning with yous then. Okay, we need to move on and do it fairly quickly. Time is passing and I've got to get this shelter built properly. I've managed to gather up some materials, but unfortunately nowhere near as much as I would have liked. What we're going to do is we're just going to pop that out of there. I'm going to pop 10 of those in there. I get 10 units out of each of these nuggets, and I believe I need 100 to make my saw blade. Unfortunately there hasn't been a lot of copper lying around, and the other material that you need is something called sphalerite, which gives you zinc, which you can use to make alloys such as bismuth bronze, but I haven't been able to find any of that either. So what we're going to do first is make ourselves a little bit of space, pop these out of here now that they're done. Oh. Now we're going to be tight on space. And what do we need? We need the copper. I'm going to pop that into there. And the next thing that we're going to do is light it up. Probably going to need some more wood, so let's grab that as well. We'll leave that one in there, we'll take from here. And oops, try again. Get some sticks down on that. Where's my firelighter gone? Oh, first time, thank you. Right, now, while we wait for that to cook up, the willow tree has grown. And as I may have mentioned previously, willow trees give a lot of leaves and a lot of wood and a lot of saplings. The wood is not great wood, it burns fairly quickly and doesn't burn very hot. But the good thing about willow is that you can use the wood to make charcoal, and it's really good for that. So I'm really glad this has grown. I'm going to bash a whole bunch of leaves off of this. Hopefully get a few more saplings. Let's see how we go. The weather now is definitely starting to change. It's moving into autumn. I noticed when I was roaming around that some of the trees were actually starting to change colour. Let's have a quick look actually. Thank you, I'll take that. And that. They're my other saplings. I put them down here just so that I could tell them apart. The vessels are great, but you can't see what's in them when they're down on the ground, and I don't have the wood I need to make signs or anything, so I'm constantly picking things up and opening them up because my short-term memory is absolutely appalling. How are we doing here? We've got 5 saplings. Want a few more. This will go a lot quicker once I get a scythe, but unfortunately I I don't think I have the metal to do that. The first tier metals are copper and bismuth bronze. So unless I can find some more copper on the ground, things are going to be a little bit slow going, and I'm probably going to have to do some serious exploring off camera to get enough basic metals to be able to get us started. Now, how are we doing here? It's another sapling. There's probably a few more drop in. Let's see what we've got. 9 saplings. Okay, let's grab one more, make it an even 10. There it is. And let's take this beastie down. Let's see how much of a oh! I might want to eat something quickly before I die. It is painful the amount of damage you take when you start to starve. I mean, it's an immediate straight to half. The next one puts you almost at dead, and then you've got very little time left. So let's try that again. We'll see how much damage it does to a stone axe. We got them all? Yep. Now, one of the things that I did discover is that the stone axe itself actually reduces the amount that you actually get back. So the better quality axes actually give you more logs. Let's just throw what we did get down here. Oh, that was really nice. Let's oh, okay, I wasn't shifting. Well, that was dumb now, wasn't it? So we're going to go through all of this again. Well, I suppose we're still waiting for that fire to finish, so waste. Oh, come on, don't make me break every single one by itself. Oh, that's just cruel. The fire's still going? Yep. It's going to take the better part of the day, unfortunately. Okay. I think I will clean the rest of these up off camera, because the stuff down here is going to despawn if I don't get down here soon. Yeah, so we got about 20 logs out of that tree, which is not too bad, but we can definitely do better. And let's get these saplings down as well while we're waiting. One there. Give them a bit of space because they are big trees. Throw them around everywhere. Oh, this place is just riddled with these caves. Everywhere I'm walking around, the ground is collapsing underneath me. It's really starting to make me a little bit nervous. Sooner or later I'm going to fall into something unexpectedly, and going to be a lot of trouble getting back out. Oh, like that. See what I mean? Oh, yeah. I suppose the more time we spend... Oh, the fire's out. Okay. So let's see if we can actually do this. So we have a ceramic vessel and it contains liquid copper. Now if we bring this up like this, you'll see there is 100 units there, and we want a saw mold, so we're going to pop that in there, and hopefully there will be enough. Yes, so now we have a copper saw. So right, we can actually place that mold down on the ground, of course. Now it's getting dark. Let's just grab a couple of logs. We'll take those 4 pine logs, I think, to play with. Let's get up where it's safe. And let's see how we go here. If we take that, we can get a copper saw blade. Now we do lose the mold in the process, and we should now be able to add that to a stick, and we now have a copper saw, and that copper saw will allow us to get planks, and planks will allow us to make plank blocks, and I should also be able to make a crafting table. Let's see if this is going to work the way we want it to. Hopefully it will. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a crafting table. Now you'll notice that the crafting table works just a little bit differently. In TerraFirmaCraft, once you've crafted a crafting table, your crafting grid in your inventory immediately expands. So now we can craft with a full-size crafting grid anywhere we like, which is pretty awesome. Now there are a couple of things that I want to do. One of them is to make a bucket, but before I make a bucket, I'm going to make 2 chests. Because it has been driving me crazy not having storage. So where are we going to put this? I think we're just going to pop that there and there. Now the thing about the chests is there are certain things that you still cannot store in chests. It won't allow you, for example, to fill a chest up with logs. That's what log piles are for. The storage space is definitely much reduced, but that doesn't matter. We can put ceramic vessels with things inside the chests, which is definitely better, and if they're in a chest, then you can still read what's in them, so that's very, very useful. So right now I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff that I don't want to be carrying about. Put those molds in there. You can hear we've got a zombie. We're definitely going to chop up some wood and start working on a house, and I think I'll do all of this sorting off camera, and when I come back we will move forwards on some proper shelter and possibly some farms. We'll see how we go for time. Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. There's been quite a bit that we've covered. I look forward to joining you again for the next one. Until then, take care of each other and ciao for now.